there. Good. Yes. Amazing. No, good to hear. And actually, hi Jack. Happy belated birthday. Hope you had a great day. Going back to the hips. So someone else said that they could feel like a dull ache on the outer part of the hip. And again, it comes back to the weak in the muscles that stabilize the hips. So our lifestyles mainly lead to shortening of the hip flexors. So not only are they short, but they're weak because no one ever does anything to strengthen them. It's all about stretching. The same with hamstrings, for example. That people think that they have tight hamstrings, but not only are they tight, they're also weak. So really, if you ever think that something is tight, you should probably focus on strengthening rather than just stretching, if that makes sense. Oh, don't worry. My hips feel like molten lead, and it just every single time I do any hip opening action, it just seems like no amount of yoga can ever undo whatever is going on there. So don't worry. Apparently, I did a practice yesterday with Kino McGregor. She's from Miami. She's the handstand queen, and I asked about hips. Hip opening tips, and she was like, well, give yourself 20 years of doing what we did today and then come back to me. So I was like, okay, 20 years, that's fine. So yeah, if you ever think that something isn't working, then you really need to think about how much time you've given yourself to actually explore the practice. And I think, Sonia, we spoke about it once, that I think it was about the mermaid pose, that you were trying to do a lot of hip openers, and then you could feel that like your lower back was a bit like, I'm not too sure about it. So this is usually what happens, is that you invest so much time in like one particular chunk of the practice, but in yoga really challenges your entire body. And so that's why you can't just invest in hip openers or just handstand, because then other areas will be weak, and that weakness will definitely manifest in other practices.
Definitely is getting, half of it. I think it's not just like flexibility; it is strength. I might be quite good at some poses in the flexible side, but I don't think I've got any body strength at all, really, to be fair. So, yeah, even if I try to do the mermaid now, I just can't lift up and arch my back about, and then the balance goes. So I know it's all core.
Exactly. So you just need to do a bit of everything to find that equilibrium point. Okay, so let me just get my clock, because otherwise I will never let you go. And we can begin. So find a comfortable seated position. So you can prop your hips up with a block or sitting on a bolster cushion, whatever. I shall meet you for the duration of the practice. You know the drill. And close your eyes. Starting with some simple mindfulness, tuning into your physical body. So noticing any sensations, perhaps tightness, and just allowing your body to settle on the mat. With each exhalation, so focus on the grounding quality of the breath flowing out. So like your body is becoming more relaxed. And when muscles get relaxed, they become kind of heavy. So see if you can cultivate that feeling as if you were sinking deeper into the mat. With each inhalation, focus on the expansiveness of the freedom, the lightness in your chest. Also, breathing in potential length into the spine, reaching up through the crown of the head. Each time you breathe in, feel light, as though you could lift yourself a few inches off the mat. Then with the exhalation, feel rooted and connected to the earth. And focus on that prana pattern. So with each inhalation, there's extension, there's expansion, there's lightness. And with the exhalation, this is where the grounding quality is. And perhaps see if you can apply this technique or follow this pattern in the poses. Just check in with yourself, how you're feeling today. And remind yourself that you don't need to be a particular way. You don't need to have any particular skills. Here we're trying to connect with our bodies. And of course, the more you practice, the more united you'll feel, the more in depth you'll be able to evaluate, assess, and observe how things are. So that's why at the beginning, perhaps a lunge with the back knee lifted challenges you enough. But once you gain control of rooting down through the legs, bringing the energy to the core of your body, finding the extension in the spine, it will be just a lunge. It will be just a pose that you use when you transition into another asana. So this is when you start complicating things, let's put it this way. This is where more complexity is required, so you can really sharpen your concentration and ability to perceive the subtleties in what's changing in the sphere of your physical body, how the breath is working, and also holding your headspace in your awareness. And then breathe deeply into your belly. Allow it to expand. And as you exhale, gently draw the navel closer to the spine. So starting to activate the deep core muscles. So 5 more rounds this way. If you want to connect to the physical sensations of the body, you can bring the hands to your lower belly. And as you breathe in, feel the skin push against your hands. And notice how much air you can kind of pump out by applying the Uddiyana Bandha. So this is the action of bringing the lower belly closer to the spine. Just keep breathing that way. Being mindful of keeping the spine long so that your posture is wakeful. And relax through the hips. And release your breath and breathe naturally. Just roll the shoulders back and down a couple of times. And then open your eyes. So if you had any props that you were using to lift your hips, then remove them. And extend your legs in front of you. So then you can bring the right foot underneath your left knee. So, or thereabouts. And then you bend the left leg and bring the foot closer to the right knee. So the legs aren't exactly, cross-legged. They're more like 90 angle. And then lift up wavelength through the spine. So lift your spine out of your pelvis and then draw your lower belly in as you fold over the legs. So again, you can start using your props and find an appropriate depth for you. Stay here and connect to that prana pattern I mentioned earlier. So as you breathe in, you extend through the spine, bring yourself forward as though you wanted to bring the sternum further down. And as you exhale, find rooting. So you don't necessarily need to accentuate it by waving up and down, but just feel if you can extend, find length in the spine as you breathe in. And go slightly deeper. Maybe crawl the fingertips towards the edge of the mat as you exhale. Another round of breath here. Feel your hips. Try to soften them. And then slowly walk yourself back up. Switch the cross of the legs without using your hands. Already starting to cultivate the core awareness. And same principle, more or less 90-degree angles in the legs, long spine, and then fold over the legs. So keep the navel close to the spine. So not only does it help you to use that pelvic cavity to fold deeper, but also using the strength of the core to actually come into this fold. So that also supports your lower back, so there isn't any strain there because the deep core muscles support this structure. And then inhale, walk yourself back up. Briefly reflect, how did it feel? Don't worry, it's just the beginning of the practice. We're warming up. So I said at the beginning that it's not just about lengthening or finding expansion. We need to strengthen, and in particular hip flexors. So extend your legs out, V shape. If you want to sit on a block, you can. Make sure that you're comfortable rooting down through both sit bones. Bring the fingertips on each side of the leg. And just pause for a moment. Notice how that feels. You're in a mild twist here, keeping the spine long. Find some engagement in your lower abdominal muscles. Then, because it's just a little bit easier, you can tilt the pelvis back. Squeeze your belly and then inhale your right leg up. So point your foot, lift up. We're going to do both sides, so it doesn't matter which one you do. Keep breathing. I know it's really hard, but you can do it. Squeeze from your belly and lift up, and then bring it down. Shake it out, rub it if you need to. This one always gets me, but it helps you build that proper core strength. Okay, then we're going to lift up and down. So tilt your pelvis back, inhale up, exhale down. Repeat your one behind. Okay, good. Inhale up, exhale down. Okay, give me 3 more. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Breathe in and out. Well done. Bend the leg if you want to. However you want to release it. Let's do the other side. So turn towards the left leg. Just make sure that your hips are level and you're pressing down through both sits bones. And then tilt your pelvis back, really squeeze your belly, and inhale the left leg up. So by tilting the pelvis back and squeezing your belly, you bring awareness to the front body compression. So all the poses like L-sit, Lolasana, this, any core stuff requires the front body compression. So keep breathing, bring the leg back up, and then bring it down. So I remember when I first started doing this, I was just like, oh my God, this is terrible. But just, it's like anything, learning a language, how many times do you need to repeat the words, phrases to remember them? And then you still probably get them wrong. I get them wrong. Okay, then one breath per move. So inhale up, exhale down. 4 more. Breathe in and out. Inhale, lift it high, and exhale. 2 more. Breathe in and release. And one more time. Inhale and exhale. Well done. So that's it. Transition over onto your hands and knees. So we're going to do some like leg sweeps. So Rosie and Jack, you probably need to stagger yourselves because this is what we're going to do. So from here, you extend the leg out to the side. And then I've got the sofa behind me, so I don't, hands aren't important. You don't need to see my hands. And then you sweep the leg back, cross it over, and look towards the foot. See? Yeah, so that's it. Exactly. So inhale out to the side and exhale back. One more time this way. Inhale and exhale. If you want to keep it this way, do it. If you want to turn it up a notch, extend the leg and lift it up. And the same, exhale, bring it to the side and lift it up. Twice more. Inhale, lift it up as high as you can. Exhale behind you and up. One more. Breathe in and hold for 1, 2. You don't know how long I'm counting. 3. Bring it down the other side. Extend the left leg out, point your toes. And exhale, bring it behind you. Look towards the foot. So twice more. Inhale out to the side. And exhale behind you. Can you already feel your outer hips? One more time. Breathe in and out. Turning up a notch if you want to. 3 times. Inhale, lift it up high. Exhale, sweep it behind. Lift it up if you want to. Twice more. Inhale up. And then exhale behind. One more. Inhale, lift it up and hold it. Keep breathing. Push down through the hands. Lift the leg higher. That's it. And release. Shake your hips out. Shake your arms. It's quite tricky. You've got limited space. So I've got someone next to you. So well done, guys. But it's a really good one to activate the external hip rotators. So to build the stability. Then come to sitting on your, so on your bum with the legs in front of you, hands behind you with the fingers pointing the same way as your feet. And you can separate the legs a little bit as you lower. So tuck your tailbone under, drop your pelvis back and lift the legs up. So as though you wanted to bring them really close to your shoulders. So your big toes can touch, knees separate, and squeeze that front body compression. And breathe. We're going to hold it for 3, 2, keep squeezing. Pete, I know you've got it in you. Bring the legs closer. 1, and then extend. So you can come down onto your forearms or just use the hands like this, squeezing the elbows together. Bring the legs in towards the shoulders, like that, exactly. So inhale, extend, your lower back is on the mat. Exhale, up. 3 more times. Breathe in, squeeze your glutes. Exhale, twice more. Inhale, squeeze your lower abs. Exhale, bring it up. 1 more. Inhale, and then exhale, hold it here. Squeeze as hard as you can. This is really hard. Just a little bit longer. And then inhale, extend. Maybe you release the hands. Low boat pose. Squeeze your lower abs in and breathe. For 3, for 2, for 1, and release. Well done. So find your breath. Grab a drink if you need to. So hip or like pelvic stability is obviously conditioned by your core. So that's why you need to keep your core active when you want to do any balancing, so like on one leg, etc. But also when you go into like deep hip openers, because by keeping the Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha, you're not just like flopping out, but there's still control in what you're doing. So always a good idea to warm up through some Navasanas, or what we just did now, before you progress into other hip openers. Okay. I'm going to stay on our back. Arms beside you. So preparing for bridge or bridge-like, feet parallel. And then bring the right knee up towards your chest. So again, hollow out your pelvis, your belly. And then as you inhale, lift your hips up. So hold it here. Notice what your body requires of you to come into this shape. And then exhale, bring it down. So we're going to lift up and down 4 times. Breathe in, push the hips up. Exhale down. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in and out. And one more time. Inhale and release. So switching sides, left knee up. Lift your hips up and stay here. Observe how this side feels compared to the other one. Relax through the shoulders and your face. And exhaling, bring it down. Again, 4 more times, moving dynamically. Breathe in and out. In and out. Inhale, hips to the sky. Exhale down. Twice more. Breathe in and out. And then inhale one last time. Exhale, release. Keep the legs straight. Take a full body stretch. And you're good to go. So then roll over your legs, cross the legs, tuck your feet under, and transition into all fours. Tuck your toes, and then as you inhale, make your way into down dog. So spend a couple of moments here assessing how the back of your legs feels. Find your breath. And then walk your feet towards your hands, bending their legs as much as you need to. Exhaling, come into a forward fold. So especially for the first one, it's good to start with your legs bent. Maybe clasp the opposite elbow, and as you inhale, then focus on shifting the hips up. Just never push it, especially with your hamstrings. Respect your body's inhibitions, current restrictions. It's all good. Just spend another breath here. And then inhale, slowly roll yourself all the way up, sweeping your arms over the head, extended mountain into Tadasana Samastiti here. So I'm going to go through 2 rounds of sun salutations. Inhale, arms over the head. Exhale, gently fold. Bend your legs if you need to. Inhale, half lift. And then exhale, plant your hands and make your way into down dog. Breathing in into plank. Protract the shoulders, squeeze your belly, engage your pelvic floor. So use your entire body for the lift here. Let's spend a moment here. And then exhale your version of Chaturanga. Inhale into back bend. You can do cobra or up dog. And exhale into down dog. Look towards your hands. Step, walk or jump. And exhale, fold. You've got one more round. Inhale, rise up all the way. Look up. And exhale, back to Tadasana Samastiti here. Let's go one more time. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, extend your spine. Exhale into down dog. Inhale, plank, only one breath. Exhale, chaturanga, you can do the knees down. Inhale, open through the chest into your back bend. And exhale into down dog. From your down dog, step your right foot between the hands and stay on the fingertips, using blocks if you need to. So drop your hips forward and down just to feel what's going on in the front of the left hip. And then as you exhale, straighten the front leg. The back heel can be lifted. So inhale, come forward. And exhale, extend the right leg. So moving through like high lunge into a pyramid. So work with your breath, moving forward and back if you want to stay in a particular position. Just do that and explore. Just a couple more times. And then come into your low lunge. Extend your fingers slightly in front of you so you can shift up into warrior 3. Or modified version because we're staying on with the fingertips down. So flex your back foot and keep the left hip down. Then drop your leg all the way down. So as though you were coming into just dropping it down, standing on both feet, but the foot is hovering, and then bring it back up. So keep your core engaged, and then twice more, slowly bring it back as though you want to drop it, and then inhale, lift it. So one more time. So find stability through the standing leg. Squeeze your core and maybe come onto your fingertips. So just the fingertips, your index fingers are supporting you. If it feels okay, maybe you lift your hands off the mat if you drop. If you topple, it's fine. Bring yourself back. And you can keep the hands at your heart. So notice how that feels. And then maybe you can always do it with your hands down. You begin to bend your standing leg, bend your back leg, and drop the left knee towards the right ankle. And then inhale, straighten both legs, coming back to warrior 3. Twice more like this. So slowly move as you drop the left knee down. And then re-extend. One more time for good luck. Then bring the hands down, bring the back foot down, step into plank. Exhale into chaturanga. Inhale into your back, then take a deep breath in. And exhale into down dog. Got bad news, we've got the other side to do. So stepping the left foot between the hands. Drop your hips into your high lunge. So notice what's going on. How you can better use your legs to support you here. And then straighten the leg, rebend, flow with your own breath. Keeping the spine long, extending as you breathe in. Next time you come into your high lunge, shift your fingers slightly in front and then transition So you're coming into modified warrior 3 or Virabhadrasana 3. Drop the right hip so the hips are square and flex your back foot, so the right foot. Then drop the leg all the way down, let it hover above the mat, and then inhale, bring it up. Exhale down like a pendulum. Inhale up. One more time. Exhale. Then inhale. Find your balance. Root down through the standing leg, and you can bend the knee a little bit. Sorry, that's my Amazon delivery. So if you want to, begin to remove the points that keep you, and you can lift the hands all the way back. But you know what's coming, so choose whether this option is appropriate. Bend your standing leg, drop the knee to the ankle, and then inhale, straighten. So this is a really hard option. You can do the hands down. Bend your standing leg, and then re-extend. One more time, just give it a go. Exhale with control, slowly lower down, and then inhale. Bring the hands down, make your way into plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend, roll the shoulders back and down, shoulders away from your ears. And exhale briefly into child's pose. A well-deserved one. You can stay in downward dog if you want to. Allow your body to settle, your breath to return to normal. Feel the breath expanding your side ribs. Inhale, lift yourself up so you're sitting on your heels. Interlace the fingers behind you. Roll the shoulders back and down so you're pushing the chest forward, and you can keep the heels of the hands together or apart, and draw lower belly in as you come into child's pose whilst opening through the shoulders. So don't pull, don't force anything, just feel the stretch in the shoulders. Just another breath or two. And then squeezing your belly, lift yourself back up. Release the arms. Bring them in front of you. And then make your way into downward facing dog. Look towards your hands. Walk, step or jump. Exhale into fold. Inhale, rise up. Extend through the body. Exhale, find grounding. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, long spine. And exhale into down dog. Then inhale, lift your right leg up, three-legged dog. And exhale, stay. One more breath in here, lift the right foot as high as you can. And exhale, step the right foot between the hands. Bring the fingertips in front of you as you transition into warrior 3. We're not going to stay here long this time. Choose your option. Extend through the back leg, through the crown of your head, hands out of your heart. And try to find that calm place in your head. Set your gaze at a still point somewhere down in front of you. And then bring the fingertips down. You can use a block here if you like. I like to bring my left fingertips even off my mat and wrap my right hand behind my right calf. So this way, as you bring your head to the knee, you can choose how far you want to go, because you're coming into standing split. So this is perfect as it is. Focus on grounding. If you want to go slightly deeper, then you begin to lift the left leg up towards the sky, bringing the head to the right knee. So I use my left hand for extra anchoring. And this is the pose where you can really practice finding the balance between grace and grit. When you're ready, drop the left foot, long step back, and drop the left knee down. Walk the right foot slightly out and keep it at 45 degrees, so away from you. Bring the left hand on the inner right hand on the inner right thigh. So kind of like pushing above the knee to open through the hip joint. So it's like this. So my leg is on a diagonal out, like that. So it's not here, but it's there. And I'm sinking deep and pushing the leg down and away. Obviously with, when I say, oh, don't push it, and then like, oh yeah, push your leg, it's just to slightly increase the tension if it feels good. You can stay with the left hand down. And here is the moment where you might need a strap. Using the strength of your hamstrings, first of all, just bend the left leg and bring the foot as close to the bum as you can. So keep squeezing and breathe. It's probably going to cramp any moment now. It's good because the hamstrings are usually quite tight and weak. So keep squeezing, and then if you want to, you can grab the inline of the foot to bring it closer. So stretching out through the quad now. And the same with quads. So they usually, they have to be strong because we're quad dominant, but they're always tight. It's just one thing that will never probably change. You can stay here if it feels good. You can drop down to your forearm. Keep your spine long and drop your hips down. Don't force it. There's a difference between your body feeling a bit timid or that you need to spend some time in a pose. But then after a while, if your breath can't get any more relaxed and deeper, it probably means you've gone a bit too far. And gently release the back foot. Walk yourself back up. Step into plank. A good old plank. It always feels so nice after all the horrible things, but when you do a plank on its own, it's just like yuck. Exhale, slowly lower into your chaturanga. Elbows are by the sides of the body. Inhale, up into your back bend. Exhale into down dog. Inhale, left leg up, three-legged dog. So pause for a moment. Check the foundation of the pose. Find your Uddiyana Bandha, so the navel close to the spine, your core is active. And then as you exhale, left foot between the hands. Fingertips in front. Slowly as you exhale, transition into Warrior 3, whatever version you want to go for. It's your practice. Maybe you lift the hands off. Remember that with balancing, even if you're doing all sorts of balances, if you're not there in your head, the likelihood is pretty low. So hold it here, extend through the back leg, through the spine, keep the chest open, and keep your belly engaged. Then bring the fingertips down and begin transitioning into your version of standing splits. So I like to bring my right hand out now and then slowly start wrapping your left forearm behind the left calf, or just holding the back of the left heel, so the Achilles heel. But I prefer to use my entire forearm. I feel like it gives me more stability. And then slowly focus on grounding the downward energy through the left leg, through the head, but reaching your right leg up. So squeeze your right glute. External hip rotators, that's all we warmed up. And then when you're ready, slowly release the back foot, long step back, and drop the right knee down. So this time walk the left foot out, 45 degrees out, and roll the hip out. So gentle external rotation there, and see how much you can push so it's within reason. Focus on dropping the hips down, opening through the chest. And then if you want to begin to bend, not if you want to, everyone needs to do that. You don't need to grab the foot, but you need to do this bit, taking care of the hamstrings. So keep squeezing until it cramps. Apparently it's the weakness leaving the body, which is the biggest cliche I've heard, but it's actually true because apparently it's the final 3 repetitions when you want to die. That's what counts, and this is where the muscles grow. So then with the left hand, you can grab hold of the foot and see how your right leg feels. So my right leg, my right thigh feels notoriously tight. So I always have to be a little bit more gentle on this side. Again, if you want to drop down to your right forearm, you may. You can use the blocks. What matters here is that you don't compromise in the length of your spine. So if you were with your forearm down, but you were kind of here, this isn't the point. I'd rather you were here and focus on the prana pattern. So lengthening through the spine and grounding as you exhale. Then slowly release the back foot. Make your way into plank. And exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, down dog. Then step your right foot between the hands and spin so you're facing the long edge of the mat. You can do it the other way around. It's fine. As long as you're facing the long edge of the mat, you're good. Hands on your hips, strong core. Inhale, lift yourself up. And then extend your arms out. And with an exhalation, hinging at the hips, so slowly leading with the chest, you come into a flat back. So press down through the outer edges of the feet, squeeze the inner thighs together, and hold it here. Deep breaths, full awareness of your physical body, of any thought patterns. And then with the next exhalation, slowly fold. So you can stay using a block, fingertips. Maybe you can bring your fingertips in line with your toes. Or maybe you can probably need to widen the stance, bring the head, the top of the head down. Keep the engagement through the legs. Your shoulders away from your ears. Your core is active. And then inhale, straighten your spine. Bring the hands to your hips and bring yourself all the way back. So heel toe feet together. And shift the weight onto the left foot. Bring the right knee up. Give it a squeeze. Notice what's happening in the hips. Use your core to find stability. Holding the right knee just with the right hand, open up through the leg. So bring the left hand wherever it feels good. And notice your range of motion available. Then bring it back down and release. So we're gonna do something strange. I discovered it today. I was just playing and then I was like, oh, this is interesting, and see if the guys like it. So you shift them, you're standing on the left leg, and with the right leg out in external rotation, you bring the leg up, and then like a ballerina kind of thing, you do like a leg extension and then bring it down. So try to be graceful. So leg goes up, do whatever you want with your hands. Maybe keeping them at your heart will help you balance. Extend and bring it down. This time, let's do it in reverse. It's much harder. So start with the leg straight, bend it and bring it back. All right? So twice more. Up and back. And one more time, straight leg, bend it, release. Give your legs a little shake. Let's do on the other side. So left leg up, give a squeeze, long spine, open chest. Then switch it, so holding with the left hand. Did I just see you hold on to the ceiling? No, it's great, you know, just props available around. I don't think I can reach mine. And then release. So here you don't have to go to your like maximum extension like you would potentially try in a tree pose, but just so the leg isn't straight, but like out. So kind of like posing. And then lift it up, little wave, extend, bring it down. Maybe the foot doesn't even need to touch the mat. Bring it up and gracefully bring it down. One more time this way, bring it down, and then reverse. Straight, bend, can barely do that. Straight, bend, and bring it down. One more time. Well done. So shake your legs out. If you want to grab a strap, then go for it. You can always do the Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana from the leg bend and then extend it. But if you want to challenge yourself, if you want to try something new, you can do the full version with me. So weight is in the left foot and extend the right leg out. Then grab hold of your big toe with your peace sign fingers. And here we go. So squeeze your glutes, squeeze your core. Try to keep the spine straight. And find rooting through the standing leg. So then from here, you open the leg out to the side. If you're brave, you can look over the left shoulder. Bring it back. We've got one more to do. Switch the hand. So with your left hand, grab hold of your outer edge of the right foot. Let go with the right hand and extend it back. So you see with a strap, you've got just a little bit more ease here. Bring the right hand back to the center. Gently release. Shake it out. After all what we've done in the past 45 minutes, this is super challenging. So if you were to try at the beginning of the practice, you would probably find it a lot easier. But now you get to experience what your body really needs to do to get you in that shape. Make sure you drink. And let's do the other side. So if you know that the straight leg isn't an option, then bend it And then with your peace sign fingers, grab hold of your big toe. And that might already be enough. Slide your right hip in. So like a drawer, you just shutting. So this is gluteus medius, that's responsible for hip stabilization. And then maybe from here you can work on extending through the left leg. Maybe, you don't have to. You can do a strap. If you want to, you can start with the left leg straight. Keep your belly engaged and then reach for the toe. Extend through the spine. And then see if your body welcomes. Extending the leg out to the side. Wherever you are, you can do the leg bend. And then slowly back to the center. Switch. So right hand, outer edge of the right foot. And that's really intense for the IT band. So it might not be available. Extend left arm back. Just take it as it is. It's okay. You're challenging yourself. It's not meant to be easy. And whichever way you can, come out of the pose. So shake your legs out and make your way down. I'm going to do a well-deserved pigeon that will help you untie all of these knots. So from tabletop, left knee behind the left wrist, slide the foot across, and then shift your hips back and down. So this is where a bolster or some pillows might come in handy, or a block, because with a block, you can slide it underneath your left hip, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, so much easier. Not always. And if you have a block, if you have a bolster, you can just snuggle up to it. Because sometimes the sensations in the outer hip are screaming at you. So if there's anything that you can do to make it a little bit more bearable, then definitely go for it. And maybe another day you will feel like, you know, just doing some other crazy stuff you can from this pose. Just for now, focus on your breath. And notice how alive your hips must be feeling right now. Certainly mine do. And inhale, lift yourself up. Slide onto your left bum cheek and bring the right leg over. So the ankle is over the knee. And if your gap here is as big as mine, again, you can slide something underneath. So it takes the hips kind of out of the equation so they can relax and settle here a little bit more. Try to keep the spine straight, or maybe if you want to, you can come into a fold. Actively try to soften through the hips. So remind yourself that it's okay. The sensations you're experiencing are actually good. Nothing bad is happening to you. I hope anyway. If there's any tension, any pain in the knee, come out of it. Then slowly breathing in, come up, and gently, manually release the top leg. So sometimes you don't need to do that. Sometimes I feel like this is me done, like you have to move me around. Let's do the pigeon on the other side. So right knee forward, the foot across the mat, and then position your hips back and down. And have a little shuffle from side to side. Make sure that the back leg is straight. And once you're okay with where you are, then you can fold or do whatever pleases you right now. Breathe into the back of your heart. Feel your rib cage widen. Soften your face, relax your jaw. And allow yourself to take in all the experience that you're having. So, whether it's good or bad, try to stay equanimous. So accepting of what is rather than wishing for it to be different. And then breathing in, come back up. Slide onto your right hip, sweep your left leg over for Agni Sambhasana or the fire log pose on the other side. This is my second hip opening practice today, so we will see if I'll be able to get out of bed tomorrow. Again, use a block or not. So it's normally advised if you've got a huge gap to use a block, but I know that my hips are in a bit of a shock to begin with when I come into this pose, but then after a few deep breaths, it's like, oh, it's all right. So just see what's true for you right now. And again, choose if you want to stay here or come into a gentle fold. Your body will instantly tell you whether that was a good idea. See if you can work with your breath by keeping it deep and long. You can induce a sense of peace. You trigger the rest and digest response so your body can relax. But if it still doesn't, after you've used the breath, then you need to back out. And then inhale, come back to the middle, gently remove the top leg. And I'm going to come into either shoulder stand or halasana, so whatever you prefer. I'm going to teach halasana because I prefer it. So you bring the legs over you. So if you need a refresher, do it. Watch me first and then do it, because I don't want you to turn your head from side to side because there's too much pressure on the neck. So you bring the legs over you, grab the back of your hips and see if you can bring the legs behind you. So you can use the hands to support your hips, not got tangled, or you can bring the arms over your head. Your core is engaged, you press the shoulders into the mat. Keep lifting the hips up. But you don't have to do that. You can just stay in constructive rest pose, feet wide, knees fall in towards each other. So that helps to passively release the hip flexors, the psoas. So all the stuff we've really triggered today. And it's just really good for your lower back. So if you ever experience any tension or tightness in the lumbar region, then this is what you can do to alleviate some of that. And slowly come out of your inversion. If you're in shoulder stand or halasana, rest with your legs bent. And then everyone bring the knees up towards your chest. Give them a squeeze. Roll from side to side. Just releasing any remaining tension or density from that region. Extend your arms and legs out. Final Shavasana, grab your eye pillows or blankets. Just make yourself super comfy. And breathe in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Continue at your own pace, or just focus on lengthening your exhalation. Let go of the practice. Allow the body to fully release. Start bringing your awareness back into your physical body. Invite some movement, some fresh energy into your toes, your fingertips. Take a full body stretch as though you're waking from a nap and see if that does anything for you. As you bring yourself back, roll over through one side. You can spend a couple of breaths there if you like. And meet me in a seated position. If you want to unmute yourself, you've got an opportunity to do that now. And we will meet again in the seat, bringing the hands at your heart. Allow your awareness to rest, your heart space, so where your thumbs come in contact with your body. Feel the lightness and expansion, and perhaps a general sense of peace. So notice what's different for you right now from the beginning of the practice, and gently bow your head, thanking your body for all the things that it allowed you to do, being hopeful for all the things you'll be able to do tomorrow and the days to come, and congratulate yourself for making it onto the mat. Let's close the practice one round of arm if you wish. So we'll do that on an exhale. Take a deep breath in. And softly open your eyes, release your hands. Thank you very much for coming. And the reason why I said congratulate yourself for making it here is because it's really hard to prioritize yourself. I today nearly skipped my practice because I had so much work to do and I was pretty overwhelmed, and I was like, oh, if I take an hour of my time now, then I will never catch up with everything. But then I was like, do you know what? Like, I am the priority, my mental well-being and my physical health. And I know that I go a bit, and I mean, I don't remember last time I didn't do yoga, like, continuously, but I remember what I used to be like when I didn't do yoga. So that's why I think it's really important to put yourself first. So thank you very much. If you want to go, then go. Enjoy your day and the rest of your evening. But if you've got any questions, then please do ask. Happy to help.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What was that? A sigh of relief? Are you going, Rosie? See you later. Mwah.
I do think my hips will hurt again tomorrow, but there we go. It's a good thing.
Exactly. If you feel, just the muscular like soreness, it means that something is happening. Obviously, you'd never want to feel pain in the joint. So although we're stressing joints because all of the tissues should be stressed, you don't want to feel pain in the joints. But if it's just muscular, then, that's why you're here, right? Not everyone does yoga to get stronger, I guess, but those of you who do, then it's kind of good to feel, that you're stepping out of your comfort zone.
It's a nice ache that makes you want to stretch again. So that's, I just think that I've kind of damaged myself if that's the feeling I'm having.
Okay. Well, but
hobbling, it's just, I just feel as if I have to get in that pose to stretch it out, and it just feels nice. So.
Which one is it?
Well, just like on Tuesday when we did the hip ones, I just had to keep on just bending over and just just sort of stretching and do similar things. So
it's fine. I remember that the teacher with whom I practiced when I realized I wanted to become a teacher. So she's an Olympic weightlifter and she's a machine basically. And she was always holding us in planks, which felt like forever. And also any of like the balancing poses like Warrior 3 or Half Moon, that it was just so long that, when the muscles, especially the stabilizing muscles, when they fatigue, there's nothing you can do. You need to come out of the pose and then come again. And some people advocate against it, which I can understand why. But at the same time, if you push yourself and you step out of that comfort zone, those muscles will in turn get stronger, right? So it just depends like what you're into, really.
It's just I'm not great at balancing. Obviously, you always say some days are better than others, but it's just I get annoyed with myself if I have a bad day balancing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well, don't we all? But it's about like, okay, you recognize it. Oh, I'm annoyed because I can't do a yoga pose. It's a yoga pose after all. Like, you come and practice. So that's the more advanced yoga practice with the contentment, santosha. They're like, okay, it is how it is, and I'm content with that. And also letting go of attachment.
I was doing the balancing like the ones we did today, where you just bring your legs up and stuff and just balance. I was just rubbish at that today and Tuesday, but I was doing it Wednesday in the in the kitchen, and I was fine, and I just thought, see, I can do it. I can do it.
Oh yeah, when anyone is looking, it's just like no. Exactly.
Practicing when I'm sort of cleaning my teeth, I'm standing on one leg.
Yeah, I do that too. Cool. How did you find it, Pete?
Yeah, good. Really enjoyed it. I've just got a bit of a question about
that
thing, double pigeon or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I just find that absolutely like my hips are quite open. Like if I put my foot on my knee, what there though?
Yeah, so because it's stemming from the hips really, and because there is some tightness or some restriction in your hips, the next thing in the line is your knee. So that's taking, the bollocking, let's put it this way. So all you need to do is just focus on the external rotation of the hips in other positions that make it available, because obviously you don't want any unnecessary pressure on the knee. So the options are, if you can bring the leg up here and you need to use a block, like however high, then do that. The other option, if this isn't available, you can bring the block in front of the knee that's down and bring the foot there. See? I don't know how well you can see it. Yeah. How's that? And then you can obviously like widen. So instead of, it's like you do like tied bakasana. So you've got the feet fairly close to your pubis, but then you can do a wider one. So although this one targets your hamstrings a little bit more, like in proportion to just opening through sartorius, so the inner thigh muscles, it's still doing the trick. And what I said at the beginning of the practice, give yourself 20 years and then we can discuss it again. So obviously it's hard to put the effort in without any immediate outcome, but especially hips being the emotional part of us, what we've inherited from our ancestors, the fight and flight response connected to the psoas muscles, any confrontation, every time you get like frustrated, you know, that gets tight. So then you want to do a Baddha Konasana or other pose, and you just like here, like, wow. So work with what you've got.
Also, doesn't it also, if you do, my husband's got no, his hamstrings are so tight because he does a lot of cycling, and that is known to shorten the hamstrings.
Yes.
So he's trying to bend over and touch his toes. He's, just below the knee. And that's how far he can go because he likes to do a lot of cycling.
Yeah, and another thing is that if, for example, he's been cycling for like 10 years, then he'd need to put, let's say, give or take 10 years to like not undo that, but to find the balance. Because if for 10 years the hamstrings were getting shorter and shorter, then this is the norm for them. And to bring himself out of that state, it might take him, a very long time. So but obviously, 10 years is probably a little bit extreme, but you get the point that it doesn't happen overnight. And when you see like, oh, do splits in 30 days, probably if you've already conditioned your body enough to be able to follow the certain, regime to get to that. But if you grab and, like Jane Doe, then that's probably not going to happen. So just about being realistic. Another good one, for both of you, is wide Baddha Konasana, but you use a block. So your ankles are off the block, so it doesn't, the bony bit is off the block, and the inner edges of the feet are more or less together. And if you feel something happening here, then stay here. Gravity is on your side because obviously it will pull the legs down, but you can use another block or something to come into a gentle fold. Try to relax through the legs. Maybe you want to come deeper. So just see how that goes, because that helps you open up through the upper part of the thighs, so like the hamstrings, and also so the IT band, that area, and it kind of gets you in this in deeper position, because when you've got legs here, obviously they're in line with your sits bones, more or less with your heels, not heels, I'm losing it now, with your hips. But if you're here, then obviously they're already higher, so that facilitates a deeper fold here already. And it actually feels quite nice. I thought I'd hate it, but it's nice. So just see how you get on. Beautiful.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I better let you go.
You're very welcome. Yeah, it's time for my dinner. So see you on Tuesday and next week, Pete. Take care. Bye-bye.